This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. I had this suggestion from Matt, chap who joined my Patreon for the backing tracks, and I think it's actually a really solid kind of practice idea. You can hear the backing track is going from A here, A major, to A minor. I'm going to talk you through some of my thought process on this as I kind of improvise around it. So we're now coming to our A. So I'm hearing this part here as just straightforward A major. Then just straight A minor. My overall strategy here will be to aim for the third of A major. And then the main thing that changes is that for the A minor, I'm going to flatten that. And that's kind of going to be my goal for a lot of this. I'm taking a phrase, another thing to do is try playing over the bar, over the transition. I would also aim for the major 7 of the A. You can also go for Lydian. And then A Dorian was also what I was going for there. So you can sort of see that although, I mean, in some ways, right, it's kind of a bit of a repetitive thing that's happening, there's actually so much that you can do creatively within that framework of just 2 chords. And because we are keeping the root note the same for both, so just having the major and the minor, what we're kind of doing is really testing out, sort of in the same area of the fretboard, whether we're able to connect these ideas. I think there's a real benefit to this. I don't know if you've tried this sort of thing before. Matt suggested that the main time that he was kind of referencing that he'd heard this happen was Is There Love in Space, Joe Satriani. And this kind of happens in the outro. I think Joe Satriani, I've seen him talk about kind of pivots, like harmonic pivot points and stuff like this. I don't know whether this would count as one of those in his views, but we are pivoting from A major tonality to A minor to tonality. One other really good strategy to aim for within this stuff is to aim for the notes that are literally changing, and that was kind of how I started off, where we're talking about the third, because the main difference between an A major and an A minor chord is not the root, it's not the 5th, it's the 3rd. That's our major, our minor. So you could go through your A major shapes that you know. You've got A minor, think about where your C sharp is. Think about where your C is. And yeah, as I kind of alluded at the end there as well, because it's a straightforward A major chord, we could also imply Lydian over it, in which case you're going to start to bring in that D sharp. And then you could also imply the A Dorian part where we'd have an F sharp and you could mix that in as well. And I think this hopefully is a really simple way to keep yourself kind of on your toes whilst you're improvising. You could change up the kind of amount, or sorry, the harmonic rhythm would be the word for it, where you could have the change happen quicker, which would obviously give you less time to spend on each chord and think of phrases, and you'd actually be practicing a bit more of the kind of connecting idea that I was talking about, where we go, okay, I'm gonna try and play over the change. That's a great idea too. But I don't know, I wanted to share that with you just because I thought it was a great idea that Matt had. I did it as well with G minor and G major. But I think give it a go, because to me, it's the sort of thing that is a lot of fun, but still practice, if that makes sense. So yes, there will be a lot of kind of noodling in there and a lot of kind of fun, but you are going to have to try and stay conscious and keep the time and the amount of bars in your head, which is so key to improvisation in general, that you can not have to worry about too much, but just keep track of what's happening and see what you can come up with this. I'll stick the backing track at the end of this video here now as well, so you can have your own go with it. But I think it's a really, really great improvisational strategy and thing to practice. So I wanted to share that with you. Thanks, Matt, for the idea. I've probably been saying your name wrong this whole time. It might not even be Matt, but I think it's Matt. But a great idea, and one that I think is worth checking out. Patreon will be the place to grab the backing track if you want to, but you can also just play along with this video at the end here now and see how you get on. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers. Also, if you are interested in kind of the more educational side of kind of guitar videos and stuff like that, I think TrueFire is a great resource. They've got over 45,000, I think, videos on there from some great instructors. Some of your favourite players, some of my favourite players. You've got Robin Ford on there, Matt Schofield, Josh Smith, Tim Lurch, Tim Miller, just loads of amazing players. Martin Taylor, if you're looking for more kind of chord melody jazz stuff, as well as Tim Lurch, obviously. You can use the code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses, or use the code JNC100 to get $100 off of their all-access pass, which is like a yearly subscription where you can dip in and out of any of the lessons and kind of follow your interests as they go around. And I'm sure you'll find a bunch of stuff on there that is useful. In particular, for me, I really like the Tim Miller stuff, kind of creative arpeggio design. I think that's great. But yeah, thanks to TrueFire. They are a sponsor of the channel and they really help me keep the lights on. Cheers.